Welcome to GearCheckGames. This is part 25 of our commentary for The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD. Last time we set out into the Earth Temple, defeated some spooky enemies, got a mirror shield, and made it through the first checkpoint of the dungeon, a large, odd-looking statue, which hopefully we'll have seen the last of. In this part, we're going to be finishing the dungeon and defeating these blue bubbles, which you don't want to let these guys touch you because they have the same cursing property that fog does that prevents you from using items. So, yeah, those guys can be a pain.
So, is that a more elaborate curse than the one in Ocarina and Majora?
No, it's actually less, because the one in those games lasts for like minutes at a time. This one's just like a few seconds.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember if there are any instances in the game where like they pair those enemies with like a Dark Nut or a Stalfos or something.
I don't think they
where
do.
like yeah. It's not that kind of Zelda game.
Maybe a Stalfos, but definitely not Dark Nut.
I was gonna say that'd be a pretty tough challenge. Like if you had to avoid a bunch of those things while like fighting an actual enemy.
Also, I was just asking myself, what's the point of that little side section? And then I remembered there's a Tingle chest over there.
Yeah, that's where one of the Tingle Tuner golden statues used to be in the GameCube version. And I wanted to show it off for that reason, because it's, it does kind of bother me that they didn't make any attempt to like update that side quest for the HD version, just from like a preservation standpoint. Like that part of the game is just inaccessible now.
What did the statue actually do?
Nothing.
Tingle statues?
I think they were just like they're just a fun collectible.
You gave him to Tingle. You gave him to Tingle and his buddies for rupees.
Well, and it made the blue Tingle brother appear on the island too, didn't it?
Maybe. I don't know. I just remember that the reward for collecting all of them and giving them to the Tingle brothers is a rainbow rupee that's worth like 600, I think.
Holy cow.
Or 500.
I wasn't aware such a thing existed.
Yeah, it's like a rupee that like shifts color. It's like animated to cycle through colors. It's neat.
Mm-hmm. It makes me wonder if that stuff is like still in the code of this game, just like inaccessible.
HD Tingle Tuner.
Yeah. Hey, they had the extra screen for it. You could have even made it like a one-player like accessible thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's be real. Who would be playing this game had friends as a child?
I did.
I had a brother.
Well, look at me. I'm Trey. I'm a normal human being.
He was one of
You
my.
don't speak for all of us, Trey. Jeez.
He was
You
one
call
of
yourself
my,
a true gamer and you have friends.
And what are you guys doing here?
We're business associates, nothing more.
I've been trying to figure that out for 25 videos, dude. I kind of have to go to the bathroom.
3 games later.
Here lies GearCheckGames. It began as it ended, crappily.
Aww.
So yeah, I just killed a bunch of floor masters. You didn't need to see that, because, well, I mean, it's a treasure chart.
Oh no! Oh no!
Another one!
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
When Link finishes with his adventure in this game, he goes on to become a professional cartographer.
Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, I guess this is what life is. Just maps everywhere.
Yeah, see, Samus becomes a firefighter and Link becomes a cartographer. Very practical jobs.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh yeah, Samus the firefighter. She changes her arm cannon to like a fire hose attachment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bonk.
Still works, even in the Earth Temple.
Nice.
She doesn't say funny things anymore, though, so...
Did we talk yet
It's not
about
worth it.
how funny it is that the Earth Temple has a flying companion, and how the Fire Temple has like a
The Wind Temple. Yeah, the Wind Temple has like a plant, like Earth-based companion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lick of sense. They could have just like changed the names and. Well, okay, maybe not. I guess the Earth Temple is like underground, and the Wind Temple has like the
giant fan.
Yeah, the giant fan in it, and I don't know.
And this section blows.
Yeah. Well, like I said though, the cursed or like the curse smoke dissipates really quickly, so it's not really a huge hassle most of the time. I remember as a kid being really intimidated by it. I was like, oh god, I can't use my sword. I can't use all my cool items.
I was trying to be coy. I actually like that section.
Oh yeah, how it like forces you like to run past the the floor masters.
What is? Oh, that's a poem.
Well, that guy just spelled his own demise. Come
yeah. What a dingus.
I want to die.
This is kind of an interesting little thing.
They keep
Yeah, I love the way they run.
themselves.
Yeah.
These are the dumbest ghosts.
Kind of an interesting little thing in this room with these ghost enemies and the skulls is like you look in and you don't immediately know that they're enemies.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You just kind of have to walk around to like see if a ghost pops up.
2-for-1 deal.
Yeah. An easy way to kill the ghost is to just let them possess you and walk into the light, and they'll just immediately die.
Wait, you can do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't show. After the Poes lose their lanterns, they'll try to attack you by possessing you, which reverses your controls. Thankfully I didn't have that happen during this playthrough, but just another thing to stress me out as a child.
You can almost just turn around.
Medley.
Wait.
I am extremely offended by your suggestions.
Wait, why did she do that?
I don't know how to explain this, but I think you might be a little dense, Link.
I'm your density.
He did throw her the entire grappling hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a reverse Wind Waker manga moment where Medley's the one who doesn't get it.
Link's over here solving a Rubik's Cubes, and she's like, oh, I think it's gonna be like this.
Hey, at least she's invincible to his sword swing.
Yeah, you got her all set up to, like, reflect the light in just the right spot, and then you're going over, getting into position, and she's just like, oh, wait! She just, like, puts down the harp. Wait, I just got an idea. What if I reflect the light over here, so then you could do that?
You just see that gif of the guy blinking his eyes.
That sounds like a meme. Or like a comic somebody would make. Now, I had a lot of weirdness going on with the Redeads in this hallway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, censored for the kids. Like, I had that weird camera thing happen. And then the first one that attacked me back in the earlier hallway, it only played, like, the first, like, millisecond of the scream. And then it just went silent afterwards.
Maybe he's shy.
Yeah, I guess so. Just like, ah!
He's a Redead. Let me get real close.
Also, it took me until this playthrough to realize this, but I think the Redead shrieks in this game are just like sped up elephant trumpeting. I mean, listen to it. I would be interested to hear what that sounds like slowed down.
Huh.
Wait, we can do that. We're on YouTube right now.
Yes, we can. Enjoy it, people of the future.
So here's a question for you guys. What is your take on what Redeads are?
Well, I mean, I know this is kind of outside of the Zelda canon, but doesn't the Melee trophy explain that they're not like actual like zombified people? They're just like magical creations made by Ganondorf or whoever.
Yeah, the Melee trophy says that they're like creatures made out of magic in humanoid forms, and then I think like Brawl or something says that they're made of clay, made by Ganondorf. But the question is, do you guys buy that?
I love how we have to rely on Super Smash Brothers to like provide these, well, okay, not crucial details about the Zelda canon, but you know, juicy tidbits.
So they're kind of like golems then?
Maybe.
Maybe that's why they shriek. Maybe they're in constant pain.
Well, I mean, okay, like looking back at Ocarina of Time, like, okay, Castletown is destroyed in the future. All of the civilians are replaced by re-deads.
Yeah.
But then you go to Kakariko Village and like everybody's fine, more or less. Like most of the I have a feeling the NPCs that aren't in Kakariko Village in the future are only there because like they didn't have time to like find a place for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I think they're zombies.
Yeah, I definitely think there's... I think the whole, like, they're made out of magic or clay thing is just, like, we gotta make this more kid-friendly.
Yeah.
Because, like... I don't know, I mean... there's, like, all of this stuff in the writing of Ocarina of Time pointing towards them being, like, zombies, like... Their masks are made from, like, the wood of a coffin, and they're always in, like, areas that are associated with death.
Does it
like,
say that their masks are forged from, like, coffin wood?
The spooky mask, from the mask shop, which is exactly the same as the Re-Dead mask. I think Dampe tells you that... Or no, Dampe tells you, like, do you know what that mask is? If so, why are you wearing it? Or something like that.
Okay.
And then someone else... I think someone else says that it's made from coffin. Oh, it was the guy in the Hylian... The Lake Hylia research lab tells you that it's made from a coffin plank. Okay,
I guess I could buy the idea that they're zombies and not just, like evil magic made manifest, but I mean it's not, they're not the people from Castletown.
Yeah,
like that is directly contradicted by the game.
Yeah, well, I know someone else. I heard someone else theorize that they weren't the people of Castletown, but rather like re-deads that were in like. Graveyards or tombs or something that
like
were
adjacent
in and around
to the
Hyrule
Temple
Castle.
of Time. Maybe?
Yeah. And then they just kind of like came out when the crap hit the fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When the coast was clear after Ganondorf took over.
I like to think that Ganon just like rose them from the dead himself.
Mm-hmm. He made them wise from their grave.
Yes. What's in the chest?
Although he did, it is kind of like odd that there are re-deads like, like there's re-deads in the royal family tomb, and there's not really anything you need to go down there for, so Ganondorf wouldn't really have like a reason to put monsters down there to haul at you.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Not to
mention it was sealed beforehand, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can she not climb legends?
Yeah, well, I do wonder about that. Like, I think we brought up in the last part, like, what are these enemies doing in here? How do they get in here when this place was, like, all sealed up? Because it's basically just, like, a really elaborate, like, crypt.
Yeah, like, all of the enemies in this temple are, like... Re-deads, skulls, Stalfos.
Well, except for the moblins.
Yeah, and then there's like some moblins in like the first room, and that's
it.
I
think there's a dark nut coming up.
Maybe. I guess if they're made out of clay, maybe they're like crypt guardians, like you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know there's like some kind of like Hinowa. They're like these little figurines that have faces that kind of look like re-deads. That are supposed to be like, they guard graves.
Like the Ocarina re-deads, right?
Yeah.
Are those the same kind of
But then there's
spirits
also-
as in Princess Mononoke?
Maybe. Yeah, there's also the thing where of like they come out of coffins sometimes.
Yeah.
More often in this game.
Yeah. In Ocarina, there are like Gibdos that come out of coffins, I think, in the bottom of the well, but I don't know that a Re-Dead ever does.
Yeah, well, although the Gibdos are just re-deads underneath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're just re-deads with clothes.
Yeah. Just put a different texture on it. It's a new enemy.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the Metroid Prime 2 approach.
Uh-huh.
They're she-gods, I swear.
Yeah. I get what you guys were saying last part about, like, thematically, this temple is pretty creepy, at least as far as this game goes, but, like, the music is really, like, relaxing.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly don't get a creepy vibe from this at all. It's just kind of like, you know, something I might study to, or...
It's kind of ambient.
Yeah.
It's, like, unobtrusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a sleepy place.
Yeah. Eternal rest.
Welcome to
Perhaps.
the sleepy place.
Now on NBC.
Yes.
I like that Medley has some, like, AI that prevents her from, like... Well, okay.
I like
now-
that Medley has some AI as she does laps back and forth and then gets
Well,
cut
she
off by the block
she
you're
knows
pulling.
she knows to get out of the way sometimes.
Yeah.
She's doing what we used to
In that
call
regard,
running...
she has better AI than your constant AI companion in Bioshock Infinite,
Oh,
who
God.
constantly
Oh,
gets
boy.
you stuck in closets and stuff.
What was there, like a 10-year gap between this game and that one?
Have we haven't gone on a rant about that game yet, have we?
By we, you mean I?
Dan, you're eventually going to record that, aren't you? Maybe years down the line.
I'm pretty sure I uninstalled it recently
Oh,
and just deleted all the files from my computer.
purged it from existence.
Oh,
It's okay.
I was hoping the big face on the wall in this room was gonna be like the full statue, but the
Oh, is it missing the arms?
yeah, it's missing like the body. It looks like it's just the face sticking out of the wall.
Oh,
Wait, is this the way out?
I mean, this is a YouTube video. You can just like
yeah.
copy you can just like take a screenshot and put it in the episode. But the fun fact that I didn't realize until very recently is that the big statue that's in that one central room that has like the sun switches on the eyes is actually a giant Re-Dead statue.
Ugh.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's got
How
like
can you tell?
Well, it's got the if you look at the body and the head, it's got like the ears with the big hoop earrings and the tattoos on the arms and body.
Oh boy, that's morbid.
Yeah.
Wait. Does this... That actually works.
Missed one.
Da-da-da.
Oh,
Yeah.
more maps.
I like that they still like retain some of the tactics from the old games, like bombs being super effective against Stalfos and stuff.
You know, sometimes.
Sometimes.
I wonder if, since they're doing this adventure and you've picked up like 2 or 3 maps, I wonder if Medley is like, Link, is that necessary? Do you need that?
Yes. God.
I gotta sail the 7 seas. Dang, woman.
Yeah. I'm going to be the richest man who ever lived. Damn it.
Oh yeah, it doesn't even. Yeah, this is just like the face with like a sun thing around it.
Oh god, now it's decapitated?
Yeah.
Wait, like Face from Nickelodeon? Is that what you're going for?
Oh god.
Can you imagine him with that smile? Hey, kids.
The little sun's poking out. Hey.
That's like Nickelodeon After Dark.
Nick at Night.
Well, I guess they beat me to it.
Nick Red Light.
Orange light.
I like the color change of that previous room after you solve the puzzle. Makes it feel like you've really accomplished something.
Oh, here's that battle you were speaking of.
Oh, yeah, I guess... Wow, I have a bad memory.
Huh. Well, color me stupid.
Yeah.
Two
They're pretty
bubbles.
easy to deal with, though. It's probably just because the Dark Nut is so slow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Nuts aren't, like, super aggressive on their own. But there are a few, like, optional areas in this game where you have to fight, like, more than one at once. Well, and we saw a little bit of that when we went to the sealed Hyrule Castle earlier.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know, the combat in this game can be somewhat challenging, like, if, with the right combination of enemies. I think the issue, though, is that they just, you know, they didn't want pit players to get stuck, so they kind of refrained from presenting you with situations where you really have to, like, strategize in combat.
Yeah. I think there's a side area. There's like one of those kind of like combat trial things where there's a challenge where you have to fight 4 Dark Nuts at once.
I think the final floor of the Savage Labyrinth has that, or one of the late
that
floors
might be what
does.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that would make sense. By the way, we no longer need Medley,
Oh, alright, bye Medley.
so we're just gonna leave her.
Bye,
Oh.
Chico.
It's so sad.
She, like, after we solved this puzzle in that big room back there, like, she is no longer useful. So
She just has to make her way to you.
just gonna let her get used to her new home.
I hope you can get out by yourself, Medley.
So, fun Dark Nut fact. In Ocarina of Time, all of the Dark Nuts have Gerudo inside them.
Wow, Dan, I didn't know you watched that Did You Know Gaming episode.
Didn't you know gaming?
I watched the.
I did
thought
not watch that.
It was I think it was a Boundary Break episode.
Yeah, I watched a Boundary Break episode that had that. But it's not just
I
the.
keep trying to be a smart aleck, and you keep turning it back on.
You're not allowed.
I knew that the mini boss of the Spirit Temple obviously had one because it's what's her face Naburu and her helmet comes off and stuff.
Right.
But I didn't know that all of them had Gerudo inside them, and I think they look different from Naburu. So I guess the lore is that either Ganondorf or the witches basically just took dissidents of the Gerudo tribe and turned them into Dark Nuts.
Those jerks. And speaking of jerks, here we have the boss of the Earth Temple, Jalhalla.
Yep.
Big old ghost.
His name isn't Big O?
Nope.
It's Big Smoke.
Oh, you gotta throw him into the smokes.
He's pretty easy to deal with, though, especially if you have the Hurricane Spin. In fact, this is probably the instance of the game where it's most useful, because when you stun him with the light and throw him into one of those spike pillars, he splits into a bunch of little ghosts, and, what better way to dispose of a bunch of small enemies than by spinning around with your sword?
Uh-huh. Oh, I hate when that happens.
What do you call a baby ghost? A boast?
The
A
ghostlet?
ghostling?
Sure. Baby boo?
A booby? Okay, that was tasteless.
Whatever you say, Trey. Yeah, this boss is honestly one of the easier bosses in my opinion. I mean,
Say that and get
As
fried.
you just get shredded.
he can curse you though, so watch out for that. When he goes purple like that, that's what he's doing.
Oh god. Whoa, he's
Also,
going
is
ghost.
anybody else kind of unsettled by like his eyes? Because
I
he's
think
got
they're cute.
these two like big spirals on his mask that they kind of draw your eye, like, oh, that's what his face looks like. And then you look a little closer, and he has like these little beady eyes, like in the cracks. It's like, what are you?
How many eyes
Well.
does he need?
Now he's dead, so I can stop worrying.
They just look like big old chubby cheeks.
I remember the first time I fought this boss and it got to this point, I was like, okay, this is like phase 2, right?
You know, I didn't realize until just now, he looks like a pig, which fits the Ganon theme.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Maybe he's like a fan.
He's this game's Phantom Ganon.
He's been writing Ganon fan mail all of these years, but it never gets delivered past the front door because it's a
Ganon's
giant
Phantom
stone slab.
Oh, when will
Heart container.
When will Ganon Senpai notice me?
Well, hopefully nothing happens to Ganon in between now and the end of the game, so he can respond to all of his dedicated fans.
Can you imagine? See, that's the other person that's receiving mail at the Forbidden Fortress.
What if she just didn't show up?
Yeah.
Or like the length of time it takes her to run up in that cutscene depends on how far away she is when you went into the boss room.
Like just standing there for a few minutes, like tapping his foot.
It's just like awkwardly hanging on that same angle.
Link gets so bored he starts doing like push-ups and shit. It's like, alright, anytime now.
I'm not crying, you're crying. Oh, now they're harmonizing. Ugh, I can't take it.
I think you mean harponizing. Hey, wait a minute. Who
you
invited
can't see it, but I am violently shaking my head.
Who invited the fish?
Well, it's the land of ghosts, Trey. It's kind of par for the course.
She lives here.
Yeah. She's the new boss.
Oh, is this when we get our wings?
I think so.
I want to fly.
You came to this fish's home, and then you're just like, who invited you?
There you go.
The Master Sword turned into one of those, like the Shocker gum stick.
I thought it was gonna put his eye out when it popped open.
What a way for the hero of time to be defeated.
Yeah, that Master Sword is not child safe.
I don't think any sword is child safe.
I don't know where you've been buying your swords. I don't know where you've been buying your children's swords from, but...
I buy them off swordemporium.com.
Wow.
That's where I got my Masamune sword.
Masamune?
Yeah, the sword of legend, Masamune.
The biggest of boys. Alright, see you, Medley.
Goodbye.
Pray for us, Medley.
We're leaving you behind in a dank dungeon yet again.
That is what you're here to do.
That's Link's actual power, is to turn microscopic.
Not in this game, though.
Oh, catch those crabs. Those will give you stamina.
Oh yeah, wasn't that supposed to be like getting small. Wasn't that like a cut mechanic from like the conceptual stages of Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, not necessarily. There was a village of tiny people, like the Minish, planned.
Oh.
And there might have been like a gate to make you small or something.
Oh, like that one village from Okami. Yeah, that would make sense.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think I got that far in Okami.
Yeah, it's like the penultimate thing you do in that game.
I see.
Oddly. That game has weird pacing, but you know, I love it. I love it just the same. So thank you for joining us for the conclusion of the Earth Temple. We'll see you next time with some Windfall Island side questing.
Yay.
Hooray! Bye-bye.